Woohoo!
We are live on Facebook and YouTube, doing our usual killing time thing right here. Playing around with. I don't know how many people noticed this last time. I know. Created this little intro graphic. I don't know. I was having fun with After Effects this a couple weeks ago, and we'll see how that evolves.
It kind of feels like the whole emergency broadcast system.
Right? Yeah.
The whole thing's got that.
What's that? Thing's got that vibe where we have the rainbow colored blank screen.
Right.
Yeah. Showing our age with that one. Does TV even go off air anymore?
Oh man, remember that? The static?
Yeah, static.
I remember, as a kid getting to stay up on weekends and just watch TV. Everybody would go to bed and I'd be in the little TV room. I'd wake up Sunday morning or whenever, and there's static.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Or the obligatory national anthem that plays just before it goes to static.
Yeah. That plays you out. What was that about?
I don't know. I think it was just
the flag in black and white.
It was I don't know, like a byproduct of the Reagan era or something.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, we didn't have a color TV till the Washington NFL franchise went to the Super Bowl. My dad and I were huge fans, and so when they went to we had one of those dial black and white TVs.
I had one of those.
Where the knobs were gone. But inside there was like the little plastic thing with the slot for where the knob's supposed to fit in. We'd use a butter knife. We'd stick it in there to change channels and do the fine tuning.
We had a pair of needle nose pliers next to one of the TVs.
There you go. And like my brother, if he wanted to make me mad when he knew it was around a show that I wanted to watch, he'd just yank out the little power switch button, the little metal piece that slid in to turn it on and off.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that kid.
Oh man. Well, welcome everyone who's joining us. This is our mic check Sunday mic check. Forgot the name of our own deal. We're just hanging out here. I don't know how many of you saw an announcement that we made yesterday, but at some point during this conversation, Rajiv and I are going to duke it out in a couple rounds of Jesus Juke.
Duke it out.
With some things to juke provided hopefully by those of you that are joining us this morning. So if you are here and you're watching, throw some stuff in the comments. We want to make this as interactive as possible. So even if it's just a hello, so we can know who's here, because we're using like a third-party interface. So we actually only see how many people are live. We don't even see who's live until they comment. So comment, join us.
Yeah, this Jesus Juke, man, that's more like a setup, because you're just really good at it. It's like me challenging you to a free throw contest.
First of all, you've never seen me playing basketball. You don't know how.
Oh, that's true. Well, I'm short. I don't get to play the inside game, but I kill at free throws. I'm like an 80-90% free throw shooter.
Oh wow. Okay, then yeah, that would be the equivalent.
I can be most NBA players at the stripe.
Janelle, welcome. You almost forgot. Hello. Hope your week has gone well.
Hey, Janelle. Good to have you here.
Well, I figure since you and I aren't in church, Jesus Juke is our opportunity to preach a mini sermon, even if it's probably something we're not going to believe.
Well, the difference is people are going to get to see our looks of disgust,
right?
As we each take turns to try to be the pastors we once were.
That's right. The pastors we once were in a bygone era,
which makes it even more gross.
Reliving the glory days.
No, I don't know about that.
Well, yeah.
Bringing up, oh my God, I still feel so much guilt and regret over stuff that I taught and said.
Oh, tell me about it. So much.
Yep.
But what can you do?
That's why we're here. We're doing penance. Penance.
Right. I'm sure in 10 years I'll have regrets on some of the stuff I've done on our show. And
Dude, 10 minutes later, I'm like, oh, I should have never said that.
Thank God for post-production, because it would be a lot worse.
Yeah, which we don't have here.
Right, exactly. Which is our safety net is gone when we jump on here, which is why Alan only comes in to watch and rarely participates because
He's like, can you edit that out? No, Alan, it's live.
it's there.
It's
You're done. You're out there. Just throwing shade at Alan.
he's not even here in the chat. He usually shows up to say hello before he has to go.
Usually our first audience member. But welcome everyone else. Just to reiterate, feel free to comment in the comments so we know you're here. Again, we only see how many people are watching. We don't see who's saying what. So Rajiv, how was your week? Anything interesting happen?
Yeah, there's some interesting stuff happened. I put it on Facebook, so if anyone's engaged with me on Facebook, we were going to open a bookstore, coffee shop bookstore, and it was going to be a complete build out of a vacant space. Got permits the day the crisis hit. The WHO declared the global pandemic, and so it's just not going to happen. So that sinks a lot of time and energy and some money into, for now, a pretty lost cause. And so I'm trying to piece together what's next, and a real interesting development has come along. So I'm excited about that, and we might know for sure by next Sunday. So
nice.
There was that, and actually braved driving around enough to have to get some gas.
Oh,
so pump gas for the first time in a very long time. Trying to use one of those like germ killing wipes to hold everything and push buttons. It was fun.
Nice. I come to think of it, I don't think we've filled up since this started. Yeah. No, we did once, and we did we do a Shell station because it has like Ralph's rewards points, and our local grocery store is a Ralph's.
Yeah.
So because we hadn't done it in like 8 weeks, we got like 70 cents off a gallon because all we did was go to the grocery store. So
right.
All these points. We're like, wow, that was like practically free gas. It was crazy.
It's like that and dishes and yard work.
Right. Yeah, I actually did a little yard work. And
did you? That's not your thing, right?
No, I hate it so much.
Yeah, I love it.
If I could, I would just cement my backyard and go that route. Or
planters
to handle it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I
like having the yard.
Yeah. I like it more than I used to. I like it. I get so overwhelmed by it. Like it's the last priority on my priority list. Like any neighborhood I've ever lived in, my house has always been the one that I'm sure so many of the neighbors are like, ugh, gosh, why don't they just clean up their house? Because I come home or I'm on the weekends and I'm like, okay, I could spend an hour out in the yard or an hour hanging out with my kids or doing something fun. So I'm just like, not gonna worry about it.
So you're that house we drive by and you're like, oh, they must be dying.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
They're not well.
Right. Seriously,
let's be nice to them.
We've had notes slipped under our door. Like,
man,
we are not.
Does anyone live here? Has it been abandoned?
We're just like, you're lowering our property value.
Do you need help? Oh man, that's messed up.
Yeah, and my wife loves it, but she has severe allergies. So if she gets out there for too long, she's just tore up for the rest of the day. So,
dude, man, that's me too. But I've gotten the big mask with the interchangeable filters and goggles.
Oh dang, you suit up to go.
I totally do, and I love it. It's great, and it also protects me where I don't have the aftermath of like 4 days of just misery.
Right.
Eyes and then the whole saline rinse thing that helps too.
Well, I'm not familiar with the saline rinse.
Oh really? Yeah. Kat probably knows. Allergy sufferers.
Probably.
There's like sometimes there's squirt bottles. You go through. Get your sinuses rinsed out.
She has like a whole drawer of stuff.
Neti pot. Yeah.
Yeah, that she takes.
All of us allergy sufferers, man. Compare notes.
Right.
Red
Man.
and yellow, green. That's how the song got written, was the saline flush.
That's just too much information. Well, hopefully we haven't driven any of you all away. Welcome again to Sunday Mic Check.
The show for allergy lovers.
That's right. That's right.
Or allergy sufferers.
How's everyone else out there doing? I know that various parts of the country are starting to open up again. So I'm wondering how your area is handling that particular thing. Janelle, I call gardenias the bush of death, the bushes of death. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of gardenias. I love flowers. I don't know what it is about gardenias.
I honestly, I don't know what that is. I mean, I know that I've heard the word, and I've heard people, it's like a flower or a, like, what does it look like?
Yeah. I mean, they're pretty. They're pretty. Oh no, these are, yeah, I just looked them up. I was thinking of a different plant. These are beautiful.
Oh, okay.
Share I can't remember what I'm thinking about.
What can you have
share my screen?
Yeah, maybe I'm just the only one out there that doesn't know what a gardenia looks like. Can you do that?
All right, hang on. Let me try to
figure it out live time.
I found one for sale. So I don't know. I'll just show you the picture here.
Okay, show us the picture.
Friendly heads up. All right. Hang on. Let me see.
Figure it out.
It's a dwarf. Man, where'd it go? There it is. Okay. About to share it.
Okay. Here we go.
See it?
We need a drum roll. Here, let me bring it in here. Oh, okay. I see.
That's a pretty plant.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I think we have one of those around here.
I'm thinking of something else. I can't remember the name of it, but I'm like, ugh. But Bonnie likes them, so it's like, all right.
To me, they all just, I don't know. I haven't taken the time to learn. I'm not a botanist. Is that what it is? The plant people? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I'm not one of those.
Plant
the closest
scientist.
thing I get is I know a lot about the fictional character Poison Ivy from the Batman universe. So that's about the the limit of my plant knowledge right there.
Oh, Alan's like, I heard only 1/10 of the world has allergies. And I thought I don't know. I don't know where that science comes from, Alan.
Well, let's take a quick. I mean, does Bonnie have allergies?
Yeah, seasonal.
Okay,
seasonal.
I wonder.
Maybe Alan's getting that from the Calvinist school of the Chosen, and so like that 1/10, they're doomed because there's some flaw with them.
His fundamentalism knows no bounds. Man, Alan, I'm sorry. We're just Janelle, Gainesville is a cluster of people protesting mulched skate parks, government removing face mask requirements, putting it back the same day. Oh wow,
man.
Oh, that's right.
That's
You're
right.
in Florida. I forgot. So
Gainesville, it's going down in Gainesville.
Yeah, where I live, it's slowly started to open up, but they're taking pretty big precautions. But we're not a very densely populated area. And through the course of the entire pandemic, we've only had, I think yesterday we went up to 252 cases.
Wow.
So and most of those are from people coming to our area because we're like a tourist, whatever.
Right.
So I went back to my office for work this week, and it was conflicting emotions. Like, am I making the right decision? Is this okay? But it was nice personally to get out and drive a little bit. But kept it limited to, my little cubicle and all that kind of stuff. So,
were you wearing a mask?
Not in the office. Like when I had to stop by the store on the way home, I did the mask when I was in a public area, but not in the
so you're
itself.
Pretty sure your coworkers are germ free.
Yeah. And we are very far apart. Like there was only
okay.
4 of us in the office, and it is a pretty big space. So,
that's not bad.
Yeah. And I need to, I'm conflicted too, because I started putting my glasses back on when all this started, because I figured, well, maybe putting my eyes in and out of my face, or my hands in and out of my eyes, is probably not a good idea for my contact lenses. But now with the mask, it gets all fogged up when I go out and put a mask on. So I'm like, I don't know. My friend Richard, he lives in this area too, and he says some of the population is very dense. And that's very true, particularly in a certain region of our county. So yes, it's fantastic, Richard. I love you, man.
Funny.
And then Alan, some of us are dense regard. Okay, this joke is a through line now.
It's just gonna keep rolling.
Janelle, we have what am I? I don't know how to pronounce that. Is that a name?
The Governor DeSantis.
Okay, that's right. Versus our local progressive government and the mix of everyone from all perspectives within the city. Yeah,
Gainesville's not a bad town, but politically, they've done. They're pretty cool.
They're like the
you get these clusters.
Yeah, well, like Austin is.
Yeah,
like
that might be the
right?
Austin.
Yeah,
the Austin of Florida. That's good.
Or here in California, we have the opposite issue. We have clusters of conservative. Well,
I guess we have a lot more clusters sprinkled throughout the state than people want to admit.
Right, that's true. Well, we have regions like in Southern California, it's primarily progressive, but then there's Orange County, but then there's that whole center part that's kind of like the Bible Belt of California with the valley and everything. And then you have the northern part, which is, I don't know. It was a weird state. It's a wonderful state.
It is. I love California. Love it, love it, love it. Wasn't born here, immigrated here from the East Coast and in 94 and love it. But yeah, like we live in a pretty Sacramento is a pretty progressive city and region, but like our neighbors, I got one neighbor who flies this jackass flag which got like 3 parts. One is like an old kind of worn American flag on one side. The center is like the Gadsden flag with the snake, the don't tread on me nonsense. Well, actually that's whatever. And then the other end of it is the Confederate flag. It's like what kind of, I mean, to me, that's having actually read some U.S. history. It's like a treasonous flag. It's like flying Al Qaeda flag or something, trying to take down the government. And like, anyway, so these folks who have these mindsets are everywhere. And then another neighbor who's actually a mutual friend of a former colleague of mine who I really love. We've gone, and they're older, so we did a social distance delivery of some homemade caramel that my younger son makes, and she launched into how this whole thing is a political hoax. And I was just like, all right, enjoy the caramel, and there's that theory and that commentary, but then there's the science.
Right.
And then she kind of caught on. I wasn't in her camp and tried to back down. It's like, it's okay. Enjoy the caramel. That's See you later.
Have a good one.
Call us if you fall down.
Yeah. Hopefully this fake virus doesn't. Anyway, I'm not going to say anymore. So speaking of the virus, Janelle, this is interesting that you would say this, that you would buy a clergy drag mask and a naked in a pickup truck mask. First of all, we do have the clergy drag merch. I have not created a graphic yet for naked in a pickup truck, but perhaps I will.
Pixelate the proper area.
Right, exactly. But where we do have the where we hold our merch right now, which we haven't done a great job of promoting, we just kind of put it out there because we're still feeling it out. But at TeePublic, they do have a mask option. So Janelle, just for you, when I get off this call, I will make sure that the clergy drag logo is available in mask form.
Nice.
And you can pick it up if you'd like. We're debating how hard we should push the mask thing, but I will tell you that for our TeePublic store, that when you do buy a mask, that part of the proceeds are from TeePublic are going towards helping medical personnel get. Oh, I can't remember if it's medical personnel or they're helping children. I don't remember. They're doing some sort of charity, so it'll go towards a good cause as well. So I will do that, Janelle. I'll make sure that we get the clergy drag available, and So we're. Also, an alien. Alan loves aliens mask. These are great merch ideas. Maybe we should bring Janelle into our
great merch ideas.
All right. Well, I got some work to do then.
Man. This is funny. This is pretty funny.
Okay. So, like we said in the beginning, if you're just joining us, we are, wow, Janelle, thanks. Yes, medical children, Doogie Howser, exactly. The proceeds are going to go help Neil Patrick Harris
to all the young prodigies out there
in the reboot.
Right.
They're doing a Doogie Howser reboot. Did you hear that?
No, come on.
Yeah. I think it's about a young woman in Hawaii, a Samoan woman who's going to be the new young doctor type. That's what I read somewhere. I don't know.
Is it like going to be highlighting Samoan culture and various things, or is it just Doogie Howser in different dressing?
Probably the latter, but I don't know. You never know.
It could be cool.
It could be good.
Be cool.
We'll see. And Doogie Howser's. I mean, I wonder how many people even really remember Doogie Howser, but
I never watched it. I remember it was a big deal, but I never really watched it.
I did. I was told a lot in junior high that I looked like Doogie Howser. So it's kind of a painful memory. I'd rather not. Okay, so we're going to play a round or two, depending upon the suggestions we get from those of you in the live conversation. We are going to play. We figured it'd be fun to bring some of our segments into this time for Sunday Mic Check. So we're going to play a round of Jesus Juke. So for those of you that are watching, how this works is, if you haven't heard this part of the show, is that usually one of the hosts, they give like some sort of random item, like a cup, right? And then each of the other hosts, they have to sermonize that cup. They have to create a sermon illustration about that cup. And it's not something we believe. It's just something ridiculous. And then we kind of, judge each other based on the creativity or whatever of our answer. So we're going to hand that power over to those of you that are watching right now to give us the thing to Jesus Juke, and then also determine who the winner is between the two of us.
Jeff, you always kill at this game. So I'm the sacrificial lamb here. I'm up for it though. I'm up for it.
I appreciate the compliment, but I also want it to be noted that
I'm going to try.
This is in advance, Rush. You've agreed to this in advance. There was this is
not a surprise.
No protest until now. He's putting on a show for everyone. I think he's hustling me.
I wish. Some people have gifts, other people don't.
All right. So if you are watching in the comments, give us something to Jesus Juke. It could be an item, and we'll preach it.
You have to go first.
Okay.
Let's do that to level the playing field.
All right. So we'll kill time while we wait for someone to.
Or we could do one of those generator ideas.
We could. Yes.
Oh, there we go.
Here we go.
Uh-oh.
Ooh. Here we go. So Jesus juking googly eyes. Because, yeah. Okay. All right. So I go first. This is how that works. Is that what we're agreeing upon? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I think I could do this. Many times in life, we allow our emotions, the manifestation of our flesh, to get the better of us. And it's as though we put googly eyes on our spirit. Is that everywhere we look, our eyes are not in control. We've allowed lust to make us look goofy, to make us look a little bit wild, to make us look in the wrong direction. And even though from the outside it looks as though we can see, we are actually blind to the world, blind to our own ridiculousness, blind to our sin. Don't be a spiritually googly-eyed person. Take off those googly eyes. See the world for what it is. Deny your flesh and move forward in the grace that God has given you. Amen. Amen.
That's very good. That was impressive. People are not going to recognize this as satire. Who said that?
Oh, that's right. That's actually a good note. Thank you for whoever said that. People are not going to realize it's satire. There is a link at the top of the thing that gives permission to StreamYard to put your name up here. Otherwise, it just shows up as a comment. And totally understand if you don't want to do that and you don't want your name out there. I appreciate that. So whoever said this, you have the option of revealing yourself or not. But yes. Maybe we should make that clear between in case someone's coming in. We are joking.
We should put a banner. This is satirical.
That's right. Okay, so
if they can't tell by our facial expressions and our reactions, I don't know.
Well, yeah, we'll see.
Sometimes you just can't win.
We'll see in the comments or emails that we may or may not get after. All right, Rajiv,
this is tough, man. I enjoyed yours. I was into it. So you've heard it said that we must put on the eyes of Christ so we can see others for their fuller selves. But too often, the media, the liberal church, has us putting on googly eyes to where it's all mixed up. And it has us dazed and confused into thinking the ways of the world are the ways of Christ. And let me tell you, my friends, it's wrong. Putting on the eyes of Christ gives you clarity. You can see evil where it rests. You can see goodness where it rests. Do not be confused. Put on the eyes of Christ. Cast away the googly eyes. Amen.
Very nice. All right. So now it's up to those of you that are still with us. What resonated with you the most? What pulled and tugged at your heartstrings? What spoke to your spirit?
Googly eyes are the devil. I should have thrown that in there.
That's right. Googly eyes are the devil. They're devil eyes. Although I think maybe the devil would be more marketable if you had googly eyes. It'd seem a little less threatening.
Yeah, it could lure you in for a laugh and,
then devour your soul.
Right. But it's, in the traditional teachings, it's Jesus that ultimately kills you if you don't obey.
That's true.
The devil's just trying to trick you into doing shit.
That's a hot take right there. Oh my goodness, that's fantastic. This is gold right now.
Yeah, this is something's happening here.
People are missing out.
Yeah,
people right now, but
so I think it's a tie since no one's voting.
I think so.
So
I wonder. I wish I could say that we could say give us the little likes as we go, but this interface doesn't show us those likes through the conversation, which is unfortunate.
A few second delay.
Right. From what I understand, it's a very it's kind of a rush when you're saying something and all of a sudden hearts fill the screen. I don't
Yeah, if we're doing the straight Facebook live cast,
yeah.
You get a little bit more of that closer to real time, but then you don't get us on split screen and
it's true
and little banners and stuff. So
I did a test because my wife has Facebook stuff, and this is a little bit faster than actual going on in terms of the lag and stuff like that.
Oh, interesting.
Because it's StreamYard does something on the back end where they're processing everything on their servers and then sending it through. So there's always a lag even if you're on the actual live one, but apparently this is a decent service. So we'll see. So I guess we'll declare it a tie. We'll declare it that we are equally in tune with the Spirit of God. And
just wait, somebody's gonna rip these little micro clips, put them out there. Which side are they on? What do they really believe?
We end up on some church's feed as either a clip against us or a clip, supporting the things we actually said in jest.
Right. Googly eyes are of the devil.
That's right. They make you see and look funny. Well, yeah. Well, that was fun.
That was fun.
If you have another one, just drop it through. We'll just kind of do a stream of consciousness from this point on, and we'll see. I will say that we have one more of these actually scheduled in terms of Sunday mic check. because we did this as kind of a test to look how things going. And Rajiv definitely won't be here for our maybe final one. But we're going to have some discussion soon about kind of reevaluating these Facebook Live experiments that we've done, and YouTube Live, I guess. So any input that you have, let us know if you've enjoyed it, if it's something you go back and watch. I mean, we have like the metrics from Facebook, but I don't know. It's not as accurate as just hearing from someone saying, hey, really enjoyed this during or after the fact. And then tomorrow we're definitely doing our continuing the conversation is tomorrow at 5 p.m. on our most recent episode, Who Tells the Truth, our third in the 4-part series of truth episodes. And so if you want to be a part of that, check it out. Otherwise, it will be on the podcast feed sometime on Wednesday. It really depends upon the schedule and how quickly I can get the audio and all that kind of stuff ready. So these are our current Facebook Live offerings and YouTube Live. You can always come back here and check them out, or on our YouTube channel. I believe if you go to irenicast.com/YouTube, really the only reason we have a YouTube right now before we start doing these Facebook Live things is because we don't have the time right now or the resources to do transcripts for our episodes. And we know that there are some hearing impaired people who do listen to our show. So if you, any video you put up on YouTube, they have kind of that built-in closed captioning where it's really just the graphic and then the audio from our episodes. But if you wanted, for the most part, it's pretty good. None of these voice recognition softwares have been able to transcribe Irenicast. So it's either Irene Cass or it's always some weird variation of it. But other than that, it's usually pretty good. So be sure to check out those things.
Well, I think Alan came up with the name just so he'd have a chance to explain himself.
Well, yeah. I mean, he did the Irenicon thing, and
Right.
he'll tell you this story. But he was doing the blog,
Mm-hmm.
and it was Irenicon, and in his I don't know what you call it, in his attempt to be humble, he didn't want to be the Irenicon. So his website for the longest time for the blog, and it still is, was N Irenicon. So AN and then Irenicon, IRENCON. And if you try to say that, it's very confusing. And Irenicon, what? Who? And so Alan Splain. That's a good hashtag right there, actually. I'm not gonna lie. Why didn't it come
Oh my
up?
God. Every episode will have that hashtag.
What happened? Did
I
you
don't
get
know.
all froze out?
I'm here. You froze out for a second.
Oh, maybe that was me. All right. Hashtag Alan Splained. I like that, Janelle.
That's good.
That is a good one.
That is excellent.
So when we came up for the name of the show, we just were too clever for our own good. And I think it was mostly me. I ran a cast. But let's put it on Alan.
It's cool. It's cool.
I still want an answer though, because when you made that comment about our logo, because you had been part of the show for almost a year at that point, and when I started playing around with the logo, and you said you'd always thought it was a brain, like a half.
Yeah, you're looking like a bird's eye view of a brain.
Right, and I mean, I thought it was very clear. Like, and I want to know, anyone else have even thought twice about the logo? Because I thought it was, it's supposed to be a tree. So if the majority of people said it was a brain, then I'm very fascinated by that. I'm very curious.
It's a bit of a Rorschach.
I guess so.
Yeah. It's like whatever, it reveals something about you. So
maybe that is appropriate for the show.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts out there? Anyone to take a moment to ponder our logo?
We don't think about that. We don't think about it at all. You have a logo? What?
Wait, oh, that's that weird thing that's on all your artwork?
That's what that is.
Oh man, good times.
We do have to remember Alan Splained. Hashtag Alan Splained.
We do.
That's good.
Janelle, I mean, I'm an ant, so I see trees, but now I cannot unsee the brain. I know. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything, because that ever since he said that,
But like I'm a tree guy too. Like I talk to trees. Like literally, I will talk and listen to trees. And I I didn't see the tree when I first saw it. Now it's more apparent since you tweaked it a bit. It's more
Right.
apparent because there's clearly a trunk,
Right.
and it's look, you got the seasonal representation of cyclical change, which is very evident, an evident thread through all of our shows.
Right.
So
yeah, we did tweak it. We filled in the full area as opposed to it just being. I don't know if anyone noticed that. I don't know if anyone notices the little things I do for everyone. This is an interesting. I talked with an and we hug trees, and you were just saying that, and then Angela, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. And you talk to trees too. I'm not the
Angela.
only one.
Yeah, I mean, for real, have you I spend time with them sometimes. There are moments where we'll be on a family walk, and I'll be like, I'll catch up to you in a minute, and the family knows, oh, Dad's gonna go talk to a tree, and I'll just spend time with it. There's just something about a particular tree that it's like I can hear something from it. There's a pull, and I'll just sit with it. Janelle, I've never done the hugging thing. I don't know what it is. They probably wouldn't mind a hug from me, but I just never felt that vibe. I sort of sit right next to it at the base of it, or turn and face it.
Well, you do want to honor the tree's consent, so
right.
You don't want to hug without permission. I'm sorry.
Right.
I don't mean to make light. This is out of my purview. This is out of my.
I can see the look on your face. Like, okay, we're actually going down this road a little bit.
When it's funny because when you said it earlier, I was gonna go back to that, and then the comments filled up with, "Oh, I do the same thing," and now I feel like the one that's a little outside of. Maybe I should be talking to trees. This has just not been in my wheelhouse. This is not something I've considered doing, or have run across my mind. I've thought about, oh, that's a cool tree to climb.
Oh yeah, see, Angela's. We're tracking here. Janelle, Angela, and myself are tracking this whole. Yeah. It's like there's some trees where it's just like you can't. It's like it would be disrespectful to pass by without acknowledging it.
Interesting. I get it. I don't know if I'll ever do it, but I get it.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, Jeff.
Right. I would like to see it though. We need to go on a hike.
It's like cooking shows for you.
Okay.
Like I really appreciate how much you love them, and like details about food prep and trends. I'm like, it's cool. I like eating. I don't fully get the thrill, but yeah.
Okay. All right. This is actually Jonathan. You're kind of speaking, I guess, our language. We need a tree or nature episode, and I know now. I know Rajiv would definitely be down with that. Totally. Alan would for sure be down with that. So maybe we put that down on the list. That's a good idea.
Consider it done. We just have to get it in the schedule.
That's right.
That's a great one. I'll work up the outline for it.
There we go. And then Janelle grew up in the woods. I've always been a treeple. Haven't heard that term. That's good. Maybe part of it is I've always grown up in an appreciated like city. Like I've always been in pretty populated areas. In fact, where I live now is probably the least populated area that I've ever lived in. Which I guess worked out now. But that's just
right.
Cold or whatever. But
yeah, I mean, no,
yeah.
And it's weird for me because I grew up in the Washington D.C. area, like inside the Beltway. There's the ring of freeway that surrounds it with spokes, and grew up inside the Beltway. But D.C. has a ton of trees and some parks that I spent a lot of time in as a kid, and so luckily, planners had nature factored into all of it. And not a ton of skyscrapers in D.C. because nothing other than the Washington Monument is allowed to be taller than the peak of the Capitol building. Oh, so they're all low-lying buildings.
Oh, that's a real thing, huh? That's interesting.
Yeah, and then across the river in Rosslyn, Virginia, you see some skyscrapers because Virginia doesn't care.
Right.
Well,
I wonder about that. That's interesting that you can't be higher than. I don't know. I guess that's a fitting metaphor for the person who currently sits in that house.
No, I think he hates the Capitol building.
Wow. Right.
He doesn't want to be held accountable by anybody.
Right. That's very true. Very true. Oh my gosh. This is supposed to be fun. Let's
The house of the
move on
people.
from
Yeah.
Gainesville also really loves nature and trees. Top thing that makes it awesome. That's the only thing that draws me personally to Florida. No offense, but it's like the have family that lives there, and there's this YouTube channel that my daughters really enjoy. It's called Brave Wilderness. It's one of those nature guys that goes and shows animals and all that kind of stuff. And they did this episode in this place in Florida where you can kind of swim with manatees, and that sounds fun. Like I'd like to do that.
Florida. I mean, some of my favorite people in the world live in Florida. Really good. Like my best friend since kindergarten. He and his family live there. They moved down there. A couple of other friends. I have some family that lives down in St. Augustine area. That's a beautiful town. I went down there for a wedding. But like the natural wonders in Florida are so immense. They're like intimidating. Right? There's like gators everywhere. They're prehistoric. And then you've got the swamps, which are like, I mean, talk about life. But again, for somebody who's an outsider, really intimidating. Like, Jesus, this is scary because it's just such an intensity of life. And then the bugs, the bugs.
That's the part that gets me.
They're huge.
I don't do bugs. We did a trip to Mississippi like a few months after Katrina to do like relief work to help people kind of rebuild and stuff like that. And I don't know what it is, but mosquitoes think that I'm delicious. Like literally, like I cannot go on a hike or anything without coming home with a few bites. And when we got to Mississippi, we were all in this kind of packed in this house. So some of us had to sleep outside under this like covering thing, and it was just hot, muggy, and gross. So I had to sleep with my shirt off, and I woke up and I was like itching my back, and I was like, oh man. And I turned to one of the students that was next to me, and I was like, man, is there something on my back? And I turn around, and he literally went, oh my God. And I was like, what? And my like it was almost like I was in, like riddled with acne in the back. Like it was just like all over my back, and the rest of the time, like it was so uncomfortable. So bugs just, I can't do it. Like if there's a mosquito in the house, they're going to find me. They're going to, and they're going to eat me.
So even the bugs know you're sweet, Jeff.
I don't know what it is.
Nice. That's so nice.
It's not nice. I wish that I could. I wish there was like a something you could take to like I don't know. I don't want to start getting into ingesting chemicals like that.
Well, yeah, but there's also this, I don't know if you've heard of it, but this thing called mosquito repellent.
It doesn't work.
Oh, come on.
I swear to you, it does not work. It like mitigates it slightly, but it doesn't. It almost does nothing. I don't know what it is.
My younger son, or Bonnie's and my younger son, he is a mosquito magnet. There's this thing, I don't know if they still sell them, but it's got a little battery and a belt clip and like an insert for the repellent, and you stick it on yourself, and it creates like this bubble around you, like this repellent zone, so you're not spraying yourself down. And it works really well. He uses 2. And then the stuff, I know DEET has gotten a bad rap because it used to be sprayed over entire villages and stuff, but DEET in small quantities isn't too bad, and that works really well.
I like the mechanical solution. I'd get a whole utility belt of those and see.
Yeah, I mean it's got the stuff in it, but that way you're not clogging up your skin with all that stuff. Can't remember where we found it. I think it was some sort of outdoor store, but it worked. It worked pretty well. He didn't take enough cartridges with him to refill it. But yeah, if that's a problem for you, check it out.
I will check it out. Janelle, Off Deep Woods. is
Yep,
my jam.
yep.
They have Deep Woods version of it.
Yep, they do.
Okay.
That's the stuff that I think has the higher DEET content.
Fortunately, where I'm at, we don't have a lot of bugs. So like I get a few bites when we're walking, but we don't get it too bad here.
Well, by the coast, it's not too bad.
No, it's not too bad.
And over here in Sacramento, they're really not too bad. We have one bug zapper, and it's it keeps it really pleasant. You know, you get a few floating around. And actually, our older son, he just got us. You know, we're not gun people, and I don't say it to be disrespectful to families whose culture is to go hunting and et cetera, and actually use the animals to sustain themselves. But we're not gun people. So my older son, he got us a gun that is for insects, and it was a gift. Like, he got it between Mother's Day and Father's Day as a Mother's Day, Father's Day gift. And what it is like you literally just load in this little container table salt, and it has this. It's kind of tough, but like a compressor cartridge in the barrel. It's like you could clearly looks like a toy, but it's difficult to compress, and then it takes some of the salt and puts it in the chamber, and then really powerful air force, and it will knock a bug out of the sky, and it's just salt.
So like a shotgun blast of salt pellets?
And it works.
Interesting.
It works.
And it's a multitasker. So like if you need a little salt on your while you're out for the picnic, you got both
right.
going.
It's primarily for flies, because you know the animal has to be somewhat sizable where salt spray would hit it.
Right.
But I was like, oh my God, it's just knocking stuff out of the sky. This is great.
I want one.
It is so cool.
That sounds great. That's
perfect.
It's fun.
It's fun. And basically, if you get it says there's like this, it's kind of a kitschy little chart. It's I think like a father and son came up with this thing, and it's like a hand-drawn thing of instructions. But if you're like 2 feet away and your aim is terrible, you're pretty much going to hit the thing.
Wow. I gotta try this out. This sounds
look it up. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And I have no feelings for flies, really. Not really.
I really don't like guns. There'll be more.
That's true.
I admit I have certain blind spots in my relationship to nature. So, well, it's evolving. It's an evolving thing. It gets better every year.
Right.
I remain open.
That's good, Jeff.
And
that's good.
And honest. How about all of you that are listening? How are things going? I know that there's kind of that whole there's a lot for there are a lot of people saying like, oh, the air's clear, like more, animals venturing into populated areas because there's not a lot of foot traffic, all that kind of stuff. So I wonder how your area is when it comes to that. I know it reminds me of Avengers Endgame. Of course, it reminds me of something superhero, but there's that moment where they're like, well, I saw whales in the bay because like half the population had disappeared. And I mean, I guess that's always going to be a natural byproduct of people not doing the normal people stuff.
But I mean, there's stuff everywhere, right? But I think if we don't get, and I said this on one of our episodes, if we as humans don't get the message because of this COVID-19 pandemic that we need to tone our shit down, we're gonna die.
Right.
The species is gonna, we're gonna hit that tipping point, because clearly we've seen that the Earth still has the ability not to just preserve life, but preserve life in a way that we can continue as a species. But we keep pushing it. I mean, we're not going to see it, but we'll die knowing that generations down the road are probably not going to be.
Right.
So it's like you said, you don't want this to be a downer.
Yeah, I know. It depends upon the day. Some days I have little to no hope for us learning any lessons from this, and then others I'm like, okay, maybe maybe we'll move forward. But Janelle, does it work for murder hornets?
Yeah, bring one at a time. One at a
Maybe one
time.
at a
I think I could. I don't want to challenge murder hornets in mass, but murder hornet singular, bring it on.
You'll like get a wasp, knock a wasp
Murder
out of the air or something.
hornets.
Yellow jackets. If it would have
Yeah,
worked
yeah,
on yellow, oh, then see that's like the perfect tool. I'm
Sure.
telling you, that's like a
Wait a
picnic
minute.
thing. It should be in
Yep.
your.
Yellow jackets. Hang on, I'm confused. No, those are bumblebees. Bumblebees are fine, right? They're the fuzzy ones.
Yeah,
Yellow jackets are nasty.
yellow jackets are the one that always.
They got the dangly legs. They really hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been stung by a bee though, ever.
Really?
Yeah, never.
Oh, I don't think I've been stung by a bee either. Just wasps.
No, I haven't been stung by anything ever. Just bitten
Yeah.
by mosquitoes.
They
I don't
hurt.
know. I'm sure they do. That YouTube show I was telling you about, the Brave Wilderness. This guy on there, he always for a while he was doing this insect pain index where he was working his way up the most painful stinging animals and purposely stinging himself.
man.
And he did an episode where he got one of those Japanese hornets to sting him. And I mean, some people, that's their deal, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. Janelle, we had a plastic straw ban. So did we in our area. Now we have to use disposable everything. They're discarding gloves and paper masks everywhere. Yeah, we had the plastic bags at the grocery store, and that's kind of out the window right now, which I understand. But yeah.
It looks like Angela stepped on a bee.
Oh, Angela. Recently or
As just now?
Right now while you're watching? You should
What's that meme? You know how we've had this bee scare for a little while, where they were missing for a time, and somebody put a meme on. They were like, as a kid you saw a bee, you're like, run for your lives, and now you see a bee, you're like, oh, hello bee, can I get you some water? Here's a flower. Yeah. It's totally. I love seeing bees.
Is it still are we still worried about the bees?
Yeah, I mean they're still they are rebuilding.
Okay.
So
yeah, I always need to,
which is good news.
Okay. Angela clarified.
It was a while
she stepped
ago.
on it when she was in her 20s. Okay.
All right.
Did it sting you, or you just stepped on it and were grateful that, oh wow, I didn't get stung? That could have been really bad, because I've had close calls before.
I'm guessing she was stung. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a thing. She probably wouldn't even remember.
Oh yes, we were worried. Oh, sorry. Oh, okay. Yeah. I rescued an injured bee once. My current painting in progress is a bumblebee. I did see that painting on Janelle on Instagram. It looks fantastic.
Oh yeah, so it did sting Angela. But okay, how do you rescue bee? You put a little splint on its wing? How? What does that mean? I rescued a bee. Probably a really good story.
First, you got to find a local miniature builder, because they have all the tools, and then you put on the goggles and get the tweezers out.
And is the bee just limping along the shoulder of the freeway? And you're like, oh, that bee looks like it needs help. I mean,
and how do you know it's not playing possum? What if it's just luring you in to sting you?
I don't think they have that frontal lobe.
Maybe not, but maybe this is the next evolution. There's always that first one that jumps into the next stratosphere and
jump the shark. Yep,
that's right. We are
way hopefully
out of our wheel.
More of the story. We are not making any sense, but people are still with us, and that
it's humbling.
Really. I don't know if that feels good or it makes me worry about our future.
Janelle, I got a mini ambulance. CPRs.
CPRs.
Oh man, yeah. Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. Got to keep those bees alive. They can get stuck in the sand at the beach. I think the sand keeps them from flying.
Yeah, you got to kind of clean them off, right?
Angela, I don't think I've ever seen a bee at the beach. Don't they usually stick where there's flowers and stuff? Oh, I guess.
Well, that's California.
Right, true.
I don't recall seeing a lot of beaches, but back east where I grew up, short of Maryland and Florida, where I went to the beach a lot, and as a young person who could drive. It's bees.
Well, yeah, but Angel's in
Sandflies.
California. She's a good friend. She's in this area.
Oh, okay.
We're practically neighbors.
Oh, nice. And there's what are they? They're like sandflies. We call them sandflies. They sting.
Oh yeah, those things.
Kind of like horseflies.
Yeah. We do have a lot of the sandflies in like because we have the dune areas that have a lot of the like really long plants, like the little almost like needle leaves or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, we have a lot of those here.
You gotta get one of those little salt gun thingies.
I'm seriously, because it's getting barbecue season and I'm ready to grill up some meat, and I want to be able to, in the same motion, kill a fly and salt my meat at the same time. Like just
So let it buzz down on your burger, and then bam,
no, just like
get
hit
it right
it
on the patty.
and like whatever, and then just boom, like just like a double tap, like fly food.
Oh. Yeah, but you got to do the pump.
Right.
See, so it's not going to be.
Does it have a pump though, or is it like what is the mechanism?
It's in the barrel, like
Okay.
you pull back on it in that way, and it takes some work. I mean, it takes a little bit of arm strength.
Even better. Now I'm exercising.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. This is.
And that's what I mean. In order to kill the fly and salt your burger, the fly needs to be on your burger if you want to do it in one shot.
Okay. Yeah. No, I don't want to do that.
And then a little extra protein. Oh, that's true. You have kind of a thing with insects in your food.
I just have a thing with insects in general. Like if you're ever in our house, there'll be a moment, and it's happened several times because for some reason at this time of the year we have these like wolf spiders that get in our house a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And myself and my daughters will run out of a room when we see one, and then that's my wife's cue to go in and take care of it because she is the bug catcher in our house, and I do not do bugs or rodents.
Wolf spiders aren't too bad.
They're freaky. I don't care if they like. I know in my head that they're going to bite me, but they look scary. So I will. My body won't listen to my mind when it comes to spiders.
Yeah, I can hear you.
They freak me out. Janelle,
That's how I used to feel about sand gnats.
Sand gnats. They're basically tinier, more stealthy mosquitoes that swarm. Swarm. To me, that's like a very scary word.
Yeah. And like ants, the other day I was doing picking some fruit, and we've got some fruit trees in our backyard, and there's a few of them that are starting to fall, and then ants show up. So walking around to pick fruit that's still in the tree, you got the ants down low who'll crawl up on you but won't bite you right away till there's like 1,000 of them. Then they start biting you. Such a pain. Yeah. But luckily we got a garden hose nearby, so just rinse those puppies off.
Ooh, one of the last times I did yard work, I was
distant memory.
Right. It happens every like 6 months or so. I just do like a big clearing out, but I was I don't know, I was pulling weeds, or I was weed whacking or whatever, and I was at one point I was just pulling them because I like a clean look. I want it to, and we have like all beach sand here, like, so we don't have like traditional regular soil or whatever. And I was pulling something out, and then I was picking it up to put into the green waste barrel, and then I looked down on my hand, and there was a scorpion.
Ooh.
And it was like fat. I'm pretty sure it was pregnant. Like it was fat. And I like there was a shrill that echoed through there. And then I like flung it and then stabbed it with the shovel and ran. It was
scorpions are scary.
Yeah, and before that we had a scorpion in the house, and my wife and I we were in our bedroom, and then we hear this like almost like someone was like tapping the floor with a pencil. Like it was loud enough for us to hear from our master bath into where we were. And we're like, what is that? And we go in there and it's a scorpion. I was like, no, it shouldn't be that loud. I mean, I guess I was thankful it was, because I didn't like, it wasn't gonna be stealth and get me or anything. So immediately, as I do, I ran out of the bedroom, and Kat handled that for me. So I'm thankful for my strong, brave wife who smashes bugs for me. Actually, she doesn't smash them. She lets them go every time.
Oh, really?
And I don't understand that. I mean, I understand it, but I'm not I'm not a fan of it because I feel like it's going to come back.
I'm just wondering if you could use some of your cooking tools to cope with this. Not to prepare them for food, but like if you have a torch for like creme brulee,
Oh yeah,
you pull that puppy out.
but that
now we're gonna get hate mail about cruelty to animals.
right. That would not
I'm
fly.
not being serious here, people. I'm not being serious.
I'm fine with killing the occasional bug in the house, especially if it's a spider or whatever. I will smash it, but I know that is not the way that my wife lives, and I've learned to be in that space. So she always puts them out, unless it's a black widow, then she will kill it, but she does it with regret. But she doesn't want anyone to get hurt. Janelle, why did you say this? Wolf spiders here, they carry their egg sacs in their backs. You have to take them outside because if you smash them, you'll suddenly have 1,000 tiny spiders crawling around your house. Thank you for that image, Janelle. Appreciate that.
Or the other thing, just get a little shop vac. Just get a little shop vac. Suck them up. They're all in there. Web, whatever they're in or not. Take them outside. You can let them loose. Shop vac probably won't hurt them. There's no brush. It's just
I can't get that close. I can't even do it. Like,
really?
Yeah. I know. It's not. But I don't conform to traditional roles of masculinity, so I'm allowed to be scared of bugs.
Coming from me, it has nothing to do about masculinity.
It's okay, Janelle. You're forgiven.
No, actually, thank you, Janelle. That's great because the look on Jeff's face was priceless.
But if I have nightmares tonight, or a little tiny spider crawls into my face,
oh, there you go. That's going to be a recurring nightmare now. It's like one spider, and then there's thousands of them that fall all over you.
They'll watch. My daughters will watch YouTube videos of like these stories of how like bugs were pulled out of people's like orifices and stuff, and I'm just like, why do you watch this? Why? Because they get a kick out of my reaction. So I guess that's why.
Good kids.
They've learned well from me because I do that to other people for sure.
Yeah. Hey man, I gotta wrap up pretty soon here.
Okay, well, yeah, it's probably that time. We've been on for a little over an hour, so thank you everyone who's joined us. Don't forget that tomorrow we are continuing the conversation. So we'll be talking about the most recent episode 167, Who Tells the Truth, which I really enjoyed this conversation.
That was a good one.
This was a good one. So come prepared with your thoughts, or if you can't make it, or you can't make it, you can feel free to email us some thoughts and we'll read it on the live, and then we'll put that audio on the Facebook feed. So we're kind of winding down with the Facebook stuff that we've had scheduled. So please let us know what you think about this. We'll for sure have Sunday Mic Check next week. It'll just be me probably. And after that, we're not sure. We might keep it going, but we've scheduled it through May. So give us your thoughts and your input. We'd like to hear more about that. And so thank you everyone for joining. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Hopefully some of you have tomorrow off as well, and you can enjoy a couple days too. I know I'm looking forward to having the day off. So take care, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah. Take care. Peace, love, and hugs, everybody.
There you go. Have a good one.
Bye.